We are no longer seeing much news about North Korean soldiers in the area. However, their presence still continues. The Chimera unit detects North Korean soldiers in the Kursk region. One of the North Korean soldiers, identified by an FPV drone, aims his weapon at the drone. However, before he can shoot it down, he is hit. 2 other North Korean soldiers are detected and shot as well. North Korean soldiers in general are not very skilled at defending against drones. One of them, after spotting the drone, hides behind a tree in a forested area. However, he is shot and neutralized. The remaining soldiers in the area are individually targeted and eliminated. North Korean soldiers are facing significant difficulties against FPV, first-person view drones in the conflict in Ukraine. The Ukrainian army, particularly in the Kursk region, has targeted North Korean soldiers with kamikaze drones, resulting in many casualties. In released videos, North Korean soldiers attempting to flee in open terrain are seen being ineffective against drones, and in some instances, they panic and harm their own comrades. In the next footage, we see a Russian soldier moving forward in small steps to the west of the village of Bilohorivka in the Luhansk region. He approaches a teammate who, according to the source, is sleeping. They have a brief conversation. After a while, an FPV drone attacks and drops a bomb. Immediately after the first bomb, a second bomb is dropped. Both Russian soldiers are killed by the explosions. Speaking in an open area like this, no matter the situation, is dangerous. It is clear that the soldiers here are exhausted from the war and have become careless. What do you think about this? Please share your thoughts with us. The UAA Reg unit, part of the 8th Special Forces Regiment, detects an R-330 ZK Zutel electronic warfare system in the Bielitsia village and the northern part of Spalna village in the Kursk region. It is hidden within the forested terrain to camouflage itself. In the footage, we can also see the personnel surrounding the system. Ukrainian forces launch an attack and destroy the R-330 ZK electronic warfare system. The personnel nearby are also neutralized by the blast. The R-330 ZK electronic warfare system has been frequently used by Russian forces in the Ukraine-Russia war. Russia has employed this system primarily to disrupt the GPS signals of Ukrainian drones, like the Bayraktar TB2, and to interfere with their reconnaissance and attack capabilities. ZK has targeted the communication systems of Ukrainian forces on the front line, aiming to create communication breakdowns and hinder Ukraine's operational coordination. However, the Ukrainian army has developed effective strategies against Russia's electronic warfare advantage, making the ZK systems a primary target. Many ZK units have been destroyed using long-range missile systems like HIMARS. Despite Russia's electronic warfare pressure, Ukraine has maintained flexibility on the battlefield, breaking Russia's electronic superiority through alternative communication methods and innovations in UAV technology. In the same region, a 2A-65 must-be howitzer is also detected. Similarly, it is camouflaged within the forested area, but Ukrainian forces detect it with drones. An attack is launched, and the 2A-65 MSTA-B howitzer is destroyed. In this footage, we witness the battle of the 4th Brigade, 3rd Battalion Svoboda drone team of the UA National Guard against Russian forces in the direction of Siversk. Initially, a Russian assault vehicle is detected in the area. The vehicle moves across the rugged terrain for a while before coming to a stop. The personnel inside the vehicle exit and begin to move around. At this point, an FPV drone initiates an attack, first targeting and destroying the vehicle. The Russian soldiers then attempt to hide in the surrounding terrain, likely in an effort to protect themselves from the drone's strikes. However, the area they have chosen for cover is not ideal. The FPV drone, using its thermal cameras, is able to locate the group of Russian infantrymen hiding together and targets them. One by one, the soldiers are neutralized by the drone's precise strikes. Afterward, the drone conducts several more attacks to ensure the complete destruction of the vehicle. The remaining Russian soldiers are targeted and taken out individually, with no chance to regroup or retaliate. In such an environment, remaining motionless and hiding is not an effective strategy. The FPV drone can easily spot you due to its thermal imaging capabilities. This makes finding shelter in a closed space one of the best options to avoid being detected and neutralized. Soldiers who try to hide in open terrain without any solid cover become easy targets for the FPV drone's accurate attacks. In the following footage, we see Russian soldiers advancing on foot in the area. One soldier notices the FPV drone tracking them and attempts to shoot it down. However, his attempt proves futile as the drone remains unaffected. The soldier continues to fire at the drone, but it eventually gets too close, and he is neutralized by the FPV drone's attack. In another position, Russian forces are seen positioned along an old road. One soldier spots the FPV drone approaching and attempts to shoot it. However, the drone avoids the shots, and as it moves closer, the soldier stands up, presumably to run or escape. He fails to escape in time and becomes another victim of the FPV drone. This triggers panic among the remaining soldiers, who begin acting erratically and hastily. One soldier, in a desperate attempt to flee, loses his balance and falls, only to be neutralized by the drone. The other soldiers either hide in place or attempt to shoot at the drone, but all of their efforts prove ineffective. One by one, they too meet the same fate as their comrades, falling victim to the FPV drone's relentless attacks. In this situation, it is clear that the FPV drone's high maneuverability, thermal detection capabilities, and precision make it an extremely effective tool against soldiers caught in the open or lacking proper cover. The Russian soldiers' attempts to flee or hide in the open highlight the vulnerability of troops on the battlefield when they lack shelter or sufficient protection from such advanced drone technology. The 4th Brigade of the Ukrainian National Guard, 3rd Battalion Svoboda UAV team detects 2 Russian infantry soldiers advancing in the area. After a while, they stop moving and remain stationary. A bomb is dropped on them. Upon seeing his teammate being hit, the other soldier tries to flee quickly. He runs into the forested area, but the drone follows him and hits him with a direct strike, neutralizing him. Another 3-man Russian infantry group is detected in the area. The drone targets the center of their group and drops a bomb, hitting one soldier and neutralizing him. Instead of running, the remaining soldiers choose to hide. Ukrainian forces carry out several more attacks, ultimately neutralizing the Russian soldiers completely. In another situation, a Russian infantry group notices the FPV drone following them. As soon as the drone drops a bomb, the soldiers scatter, attempting to flee. One of them runs directly into the path of the bomb and is neutralized instantly. The remaining soldiers continue walking, but one by one, they are also struck by the drone and neutralized. The wounded soldiers' positions are quickly spotted by the FPV drone, and the bomb dropped on them ensures their complete neutralization. Afterward, the drone targets the next group of soldiers. The soldiers, aware of the drone, try to evade by watching it closely. When the drone releases another bomb, they attempt to flee but are hit and injured in the process. The injured soldiers crawl toward the area where their fallen comrades' lifeless bodies lie, attempting to hide. As they try to observe the drone, the FPV drone drops another bomb, ensuring the final destruction of the group. As a result of these attacks, all Russian soldiers, except for one, are neutralized. The remaining soldier, trying to treat his wounds, is ultimately neutralized by one final attack from the drone. The 63rd Mechanized Brigade of Ukraine detects Russian troops hiding in ruined houses in the area using FPVs, first-person view drones. After being detected, Ukrainian forces launch an attack, and as a result of the explosion, Russian infantry try to flee. However, the fast maneuvering of the FPV drones prevents them from escaping, neutralizing them instead. Other Russian infantry in the area notice the FPV drone following them. When the drone attacks, one soldier desperately throws his weapon at the drone but misses. The FPV drone maneuvers and strikes again as the Russian soldier tries to run away. The drone quickly closes in on him, and with the soldier's last glance at the drone, he is neutralized. In the area when the FPV drone approaches, Russian infantry attempt to throw various objects at it. There are several other instances of this. In one case, seeing the drone approach, a Russian soldier attempts to strike it with a bag in his hand. However, the FPV drone's explosion power is so high that there's no chance for survival. In another case, another Russian soldier in the same area shoots at the approaching drone. When he misses, he throws his weapon at the drone as it gets closer. Even if the thrown weapon hits the drone, the explosion kills him. In Sribny village in the Donetsk region, the 225th Assault Battalion of Ukraine is engaged in combat with Russian forces. During this conflict, a Ukrainian soldier is severely wounded. As the wounded soldier's condition becomes critical, Ukrainian forces quickly launch an evacuation operation. The Ukrainian forces, known for their armored protection and firepower, advance into the conflict zone with the M2 Bradley armored combat vehicle. Under intense fire, the team successfully maneuvers to reach the location of the wounded soldier. Thanks to the armor protection of the M2 Bradley, the soldiers managed to evacuate the injured personnel under the cover of heavy fire from Russian forces. The M2 Bradley is one of the most important armored vehicles provided to Ukraine as part of U.S. military assistance. In early 2023, the United States decided to send a batch of M2A2 Bradley ODSSA versions to Ukraine. The first batch consisted of over 60 Bradleys, and more vehicles followed. These vehicles have been used primarily in areas such as the Zaporizhzhia front, as well as other parts of Ukraine. The Ukrainian army has effectively used the Bradleys for infantry transport, assault, and defense operations. The Bradley has proven especially effective against Russian tanks with its 2 anti-tank missiles. However, some Bradleys have been lost in intense fighting due to Russian anti-tank missile and drone attacks. Additionally, some of the Bradley vehicles have experienced reduced operational efficiency due to extreme weather conditions and the challenging terrain. Russian UAVs and artillery systems present significant threats to the Bradleys. Russia's targeting capabilities and advanced sensor systems make it challenging for Ukraine to employ these vehicles effectively. Despite this, the Ukrainian army continues to use the Bradleys because they provide a significant advantage over Russian BMP and BTR armored vehicles. Their ability to survive in difficult and changing battlefields plays an important role in Ukraine's defense lines, and they continue to serve actively on different fronts in the war. The 1st Burovy Brigade of the National Guard of Ukraine successfully carried out an attack with the BM-21 Grad multiple rocket launcher system after detecting a Russian vehicle near the village of Pishchane in the Kharkiv region. This operation once again demonstrated Ukraine's rapid intervention capability and its effective power to destroy Russian targets. While the target was completely destroyed, Russia's mobility on the front line was disrupted, showcasing Ukraine's tactical superiority. Ukraine effectively uses its large Grad inventory, which dates back to the Soviet era, for defense and counteroffensive operations. In conflict zones like Donetsk and Luhansk, Ukrainian forces attack Russian positions with BAM-21 Grad batteries, cutting off supply lines and disrupting enemy forces. Modernization efforts within the army have enhanced the Grad systems with more precise guidance systems and advanced munitions, strengthening the ability to carry out pinpoint strikes on military targets. During Grad usage, Ukraine emphasizes minimizing civilian casualties. With advanced intelligence support from the West and modern targeting technologies, the strikes have become more strategic and effective. Moreover, the flexibility of the BM-21 Grad systems offers Ukrainian forces the advantage of rapid maneuvering. providing an upper hand against Russian counterattacks. This operation highlights not only Ukraine's military expertise but also its technological competence and ability to successfully implement modern warfare strategies. Despite Russia's electronic warfare pressure, Ukraine's ability to modernize and utilize classic weapon systems like the BM-21 Grad has become a key factor in changing the course of the war.